With me is the envoy of Belarus to talk about many things, especially what is happening at the border between Belarus and Poland. Welcome to WION, sir, and thanks for speaking to WION on many issues. First, of course, is that what is happening at the border between your country and countries like the neighboring countries like Poland and Lithuania. These countries have been saying that migrants are being thrusted upon them by Belarus. What does your country has to say on these allegations?
First of all, many thanks for this opportunity to express our vision of the situation, because a lot of speculations were from Poland, Lithuania and some other countries about the situation. First of all, what I would like to mention, we did not provoke this crisis. We also suffered from what happened on our border. A lot of people trying to escape from their own countries, which were destroyed by many circumstances, war situation and economical crisis, on their way to Western countries for better life. And Belarus, as a transit country, were on their way to Western world. Yes, it was a lot of people gathered on a border between Belarus and Poland, Belarus and Lithuania, Latvia. We did not provoke, once again, this crisis because people are trying to get their better life on the Western countries and trying to use all opportunities to escape from suffered own countries. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Our country did our best just to help these people when Poland, Lithuania and Latvia pushed them away. We provided temporary shelter for them. We provided food. We provided rational packs. Even we provided some activity for the children and women who stuck in these temporary camps. So, truly speaking, the problem is that Western countries, primarily Poland and Lithuania, just not fulfill their obligations within Refugee Convention of 1951, as I remember, because they're not allowed to cross their country, to enter their country, in violation of this convention which I was mentioned. Mm-hmm. So crisis happened, and we cannot do anything to convince Western countries that they should fulfill this obligation which they have to do. Mm-hmm. A lot of things happen on the border, and especially bad things for poor people who try to cross the border. For example, Poland government use a lot of forces against these people. They use cannons, water cannons. They use chemicals, which gives a big problem for the people, and a lot of people, including, truly speaking, media reporters who cover the picture from the border, also suffered from these forces which were used by Poland. Mm-hmm.
But has this situation happened in the past as well, or is it happening for the first time? Because there haven't been such reports in the past. Also, what next? How will this situation resolve? Are you in conversation with Poland and Lithuania that it's time that it's to diffuse the situation on the ground? Because these are migrants who are getting impacted, who have come to Belarus.
Look, many times from the beginning of this huge refugee flow, we try to communicate with Poland, with Lithuania, that is necessary to sit on a table and to find a solution. Unfortunately, we did not receive any reply from these countries. And it's not a diplomatic approach from our partners, because before the August, before the middle of this year, it was a huge cooperation on the border, on all other issues. There were a lot of projects with Western countries, and especially with Poland, with Lithuania. There were joint programs how to prevent illegal migration. Unfortunately, after summer of this year, and maybe even before summer, but this year, this program was shut down, and alone Belarus cannot interfere, cannot stop such huge amount of people who are trying to escape to Western countries.
So how did these migrants end up in Belarus? Because these Western countries are also saying that the migrants are being pushed primarily because sanctions have been imposed on your government.
Look, first of all, at this moment, we are trying to convince people just to return to their home countries. Some of them agreed for that, and as I know, 9 or 7 aircrafts, evacuation aircrafts, already evacuated people from Belarus to their countries, Iraq and Syria probably, I'm not sure, but evacuated. At this moment, as I know, approximately 600 or 700 people still living in a temporary camp on a border, which was provided by our government. And they are still in the process of thinking what to do, or stay in Belarus, or maybe to return to their home country. But as I know, all requests for asylum from people who would like to stay in Belarus will be considered in a proper way, and in case everything will be in conjunction with requirements, they will get asylum in our country. But once again, the majority of people would like to go to Western countries for a better life, not to stay in Belarus.
So you'll dismiss the allegations of weaponization of migrants as these Western countries are saying?
I cannot understand your question.
These Western countries are saying that you are weaponizing the use of migrants. Will you dismiss that? What will you have?
It's absolutely lie. Migrants flow always goes to the Western countries, and flow through Belarus, it's just a minor thing if you compare with the migrants flow through Italy or some other countries. Once again, it was always this migrants flow, illegal flow, but we managed to control the majority of this flow by joint efforts from Western countries who participated in this program. At this moment, program stopped, and we cannot do ourselves to stop everyone. That's why this crisis happened.
So now going to London, where one of your diplomat has suffered the injury, there is some kind of committee that has been announced. If you can give us some details, what exactly has happened to your diplomat, and what your government is planning to do when it comes to these kind of incident which has happened.
As I know from official information, 19th December, the wall of our building, embassy building, were damaged with some articles. 2 diplomats arrived at the premises, and upon arrival, there was some activity from people who damaged this building. And as a result, it was a fighting with a diplomat, and one diplomat was seriously injured, broken nose, broken teeth, and some other bad things happened to him. police arrested the person who injured our diplomat, and it was a member of immigrants group, Nadia. As I know, chargé d'affaires of British embassy in Minsk were called to Minister of Foreign Affairs, and a note of protest were given to him with a request to find out what's happened and to make a proper actions against those who were caught. I mean the person who injured our diplomat, and to prevent in future similar incident against our embassy premises. And as I know, our investigation committee opened a criminal case against this injury, and now it's under investigation.
So it looks like that there is a larger divide between Belarus and the neighbors, Poland and its allies. Why is this divide happening? What kind of solution do you see? There have been reports from your government saying that there is an attempt to rewrite history. Are we heading towards a very explosive situation on ground between the two countries?
Look, Belarus is a peaceful country. We are always behave ourselves such way as we would like to behave against us, toward us. We always suggested diplomatic solution for every disputable situation, especially with our neighbors. It's not our fault that last year and maybe half, a lot of misunderstanding happened, especially from neighboring countries. The main reason for this, it's of course presidential election, and especially results of the presidential elections, which were not recognized by our neighboring countries as well, and many Western countries also. But it was a decision of our people, of our nation, and result is a result. 80% won by our president. It's official data, and no one can argue with that. So it's a decision of countries, and we are trying to convince them that sanctions, coercive measures which are taken by them toward Belarus, it's not the right approach to relation between countries. And a lot of examples happened with many countries in nearest history that sanctions is a deadlock. It will never give some effect, positive effect, only negative. And we can see that Western countries supposed to impose sanctions against government of Belarus, against particular government companies or particular people belong to the government. But as a result, all Belarusian people suffered again because of this sanction. And it's a reality of life. We are trying to behave ourselves more wisely, and maybe not always react immediately to this sanction, but we cannot just skip all bad things which some countries doing against us, and of course we also put some bans for some goods from these countries, and trying to find solution how we can replace these goods from other friendly countries.
So coming to your country internally, what is happening in Belarus? you coming out with a referendum when it comes to the constitution. We saw the presidential elections. Of course, the West has been saying that Belarus is moving towards authoritarianism. The opposition, of course, has left the country. There are a lot of prisoners, as the West has been saying. So what, if you can give us the details, is happening in your country?
If we are talking about constitutional reform, yes, in February, all Belarusian Assembly decided that it will be a constitutional, it is necessary constitutional reform. Our president announced about this. A special constitutional commission was created under chairmanship of chairman of Constitutional Court. And up to now, they made a project a project of a new constitution. As I remember, there are 77 articles changed, 11 new articles added to this project, and even preamble has changed. The aim of these changes is just to be in time with changes which happened after last constitutional changes in Belarus in 2004. A lot of challenges happened. A new form of management appear. A lot of new things happened, and proposed project of a constitution will reject all this. I hope we will reject all these changes to the constitution. 2 days ago, it was announced that before the end of this year, or at the beginning of this year, early beginning of this year, this project will be published for people's discussion. And after discussion, again, maybe at the end of January, maybe beginning of February, Constitutional Commission will gather and consider what should be included in the final project. And then this final project, probably at the end of February, will be put on a referendum. Mm-hmm. I hope it will be huge changes in every portion of our life. Mm-hmm. And it will give a big impetus to our nation, to the identity of our nation, and to put some new things, for example, like Belarusian identity, who is the Belarusian people, what we are going, where we are going to, and for example, it's very important for us because during the Second World War and the Great Patriotic War, Belarusian people were suffered a lot. Every third Belarusian was killed during the Second World War. Every family has its own losses, and it's very important just to put in the constitution that no one can reject the impact of Belarusian people into their victory of the Great Patriotic War and Second World War, and also a new notion as a genocide of Belarusian people also should be reflected in the constitution and some other legal actions. For example, not long ago, Belarusian government legislation body introduced a new law which called on genocide of Belarusian people. Mm-hmm. It's important for us, and it's the first time in post-war history that such a law was introduced. Mm-hmm. So It's important for us and important for everyone. Because there are a lot of attempts to rewrite the history of the Second World War and just to ease or just to reject the impact of Soviet Union and republics of the Soviet Union who were participating in military actions in the results of this war, just to eliminate everything what was belonged to Soviet Union, to Belarus, to Ukraine, to Russia, from the history, and to show only Western impact to the victory during the Second World War. That's not right.
But what will you say about the West saying that your country is moving towards authoritarianism? There is less of freedom as it was previously. As you just pointed out, the presidential election is something that has led to more sanctions on your country.
Look, just my advice, come to Belarus, you will see with your own eyes whether it is freedom or not. We are free, absolutely free, and we are conducting our own policy, independent policy. Maybe it's against the plans of Western countries, which would like to see us in their circle. I don't know. But because of our independence, because of our independent policy, which conducted by our president, by our people, our government, we are struggling with all these attempts to move us in a direction which we probably do not like to move on.
So going back to my first question, the border situation, have you briefed New Delhi about what is happening at the border between your country and Poland?
Yes, we sent at least 3 press releases to all media sources which we are in contact with, to think tanks, and as well as Minister of External Affairs. Yes, we briefed about in November and in December. We briefed, yes.
So now coming to the India-Belarus relationship, we got a chance to interview your foreign minister in New York, where he talked about how a consulate has been opened, will be opened. If you can talk about how people-to-people relation is being increased between the two countries.
We consider India as a strategic partner here in this region. And that's why this year our government took the decision to open additional representation here, Consulate General in Mumbai. Decision was taken during the summer. We agreed with the Indian side, and we almost opened our Consulate General in Mumbai. We found a building. We are in the process of reconstruction a bit, but I think physically we will open it at the beginning of New Year 2022, and we will enhance our activity here in India with additional premises. Plus, we have 2 honorary consulate. One was in Mumbai and one in Kolkata, with honorary consul, in both cities. We have a huge and long-lasting relations with India. I can say that we established relation long before we get independence in 1992, 91. We have a huge history of our relations since 47, when you proclaim independence. Belarus, one of the 3 Soviet republics, was a member of the United Nations. And we always support you since that time. If we will turn to present time, we established our embassy here in 1992, and since that time we are here in India. We I can say that we have a very good relation on different levels, on high level, highest level, in different spheres. For example, our president visited 3 times with a state visit India in 1997, 2007 and 2017, the last one. Your president, Mukherjee, visited Belarus in 2015. There were a lot of visits of our minister for foreign affairs to Belarus. Our prime minister visited India 3 times. Now we are working how to organize of the visit of Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Belarus. We trying this visit to organize this visit for a couple of years, but because of COVID, because of restrictions, travel restrictions, even now which exist, it is not so easy. But I hope next year we will manage to do this. We have a huge opportunity and huge project with India in the mining sphere. During the last 2 years, we supplied here our mining trucks, which produced in Belarus. First portion of the trucks, 77 pieces, 130 ton, was in 2021 finished, and this year we already delivered 6 Mobiga trucks, 240 tons each, to India just to operate on coal mine facilities, just to help you with mine production. There are also a huge project on the oil industry. We help you to extract more oil from old oil drills, and this project was successful. The last project just finished this year in March 2021. We are trying to enhance this cooperation to other oil field which exist in India, and I hope it will be some result on this. A huge cooperation also in the field of culture. There were a lot of activities between Belarus and India. I mean, exchanges of different troops of artists. Last year and this year we give our premises to shoot an Indian movie in Belarus. Yes, if you know, The Squad movie, which was introduced maybe in October or beginning of November this year on Netflix TV, was shot in Belarus. And it's a huge opportunity for future Bollywood movies will be produced in Belarus facility, because we have a huge facility named Belarus Film, which can provide everything, studios and nature pavilions and so on and so on. So tremendous opportunities. We are not using them for 100%, but we are trying to do our best as an embassy, as a representation here, just to enhance contacts between our business and Indian business, between our people and Indian people. For example, just for your information, it's very popular Indian food in Belarus. We have at least a couple of restaurants. One exists maybe for 20 years already, Taj Mahal in Belarus, but there are a lot of new restaurants, new eateries with Indian food in Belarus, and it's very interesting because it's not traditional Indian food for us, but it's healthy, and it gives something new, with new feelings. Plus, it's very popular yoga training. Since United Nations proclaimed yoga as International Day, 21st of June in 2014, it's very popular yoga training in Belarusian cities. And for example, myself, with my own eyes, I saw in our park in the center of the city every Sunday at 7:30 in the morning, yoga lessons, free of charge for everyone who is interested in this activity. So we would like to have more. It's also a very interesting Ayurvedic practice, which India trying to spread through the world. It's also interesting for us. So a great opportunity for mutual cooperation, mutually beneficial cooperation, and that's why we're here. We would like to develop our relation and to bring it to a new stage.
Well, thank you so much, sir, for speaking to WION on such an extensive interview talking about the situation at border, relationship with India, and how you plan to take the relationship between India and your country to a higher level, especially focusing on Bollywood, mining, and yoga. Thank you so much, sir. So that was the Belarusian envoy speaking to WION exclusively on a number of subjects and, of course, touching about the border and, of course, ties with India. With video journalist Chandrasekhar Siddhant Sibbal for WION in New Delhi.